we had quarterbacks skipping seam balls because they just grow. And his thing was he was going to test you to see if you were going to make it the full 4 years with him.
Yeah. We threw the ball where the hell we wanted to. Come hell or high water.
Right.
I mean, that's just how we played.
Well, I think that's why it's so important to have the locker room now, more so than ever. People talk about culture, but we talk about unique fraternity, we talk about transfer portal, we talk about the what ifs if we played during that era. Our locker room would have been fractured. We would have had half the guys that made us who we are as people and as a collective unit before we ever stepped foot on a football.
Now they have the headphones in. They're like, how would you fare in that deal? I was like, I still wouldn't hear anyone but Spurrier bitching and complaining. Hey! Yeah. Let's put Connor in.
And it's like with him, it's like nothing is ever good enough.
I told Connor this at Steel Hands the other day. I said, I fucking hated you.
I made a decision for my well-being.
Have you seen this dinosaur?
The game's over.
Sign me up for doing something that's never been freaking done.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, then I knew my roommate was gonna be. My college is gonna be fun, boys and girls. Appreciate you guys tuning in again to another episode of Tailgate Talks. We had a really cool conversation and hangout at an event on Friday night over at Hall's. Kind of like a quarterback roundtable of the ages of South Carolina football. We kind of had most of us were, in the early thousands to mid 2010s, but we also had a throwback in there and Steve Taneyhill, which is really cool to learn about.
For sure. As Taneyhill mentioned, we had the fun side, the chaos side, and then the side that was never arrested. So yeah, it was fun, man. Me, Taneyhill, Blake Mitchell, Perry Orth, and then obviously Connor. So yeah, man, that was an interesting conversation. And, I don't know about you, but I feel like I definitely learned more about those guys from that conversation, that, 90-minute conversation than I had in, 15 years of knowing most of them.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about topics all over the place, from recruiting to where we're from, to favorite experiences, to favorite bars, to, all over the place. So, we could have went for 5 hours, but we ended up having to shut it down because it was getting dark outside and all that. But, such a great group of guys and, obviously really talented players as well. So excited for you guys to hear that from us. But, in the meantime, we need to talk a little bit about South Carolina and ODU. It was definitely not a pretty win, but it was a win. 1-0 is a heck of a lot better than 0-1. I know people are pissed with how we played, and I could see it in Coach Beamer when in his post-game press conference, like he wasn't a happy camper.
No, but you got to think of this, and you saw it last night with the Florida State Seminoles.
Yep.
I knew it because and I don't want to talk bad about QB play, but I saw DJ at Clemson, and I knew that he's just not a very good thrower of the football. So for them to go 0-2, I think there's a little bit of panic mode going to Tallahassee as opposed to, we're 1-0, knock all the rust off the wheels and, get ready to play first SEC game, this coming weekend.
Yeah, I think we saw that Lenoris obviously is very talented, but he's a freshman, and there's going to be a lot of freshman growth there and a lot of bonehead decisions. But we turned the ball over once. We forced 4 turnovers. There were a lot of goods that came with it. But I think, the receivers were running open. He missed a few, and he kind of had his eyes in the wrong place at times. But that's all stuff that can get cleaned up. First real action against a different opponent. I think we were expecting to win like Kentucky won, and we didn't. So that kind of is a reason to sound the alarms. Kentucky won 31-0 in 2.5 quarters. Where we, our game went down to the wire. We picked off a pass with 2 minutes to go to ice it. But I definitely think we're in for a dogfight at Kentucky. They're a fundamentally sound football team. They always have been. In my opinion, Kentucky fans might not like this, but they're a more talented Vandy. Vandy's always in the right place at the right time and plays tough, solid football, but not necessarily quite as talented as the rest of the SEC. So I think this Kentucky team might be a little more talented than we think. So hopefully we can clean up some of our mistakes from last week.
For sure. And obviously, as you know, it's hard to run the ball. How many carries did he have? 22 carries?
Yeah. So
talking about Sellers. I know he's a big kid, but I mean, hell, I was 250 when I was playing, and you asked me to run the ball 22 times, I'm going to be drinking a lot of beers after that game.
Yeah,
I was doing that anyway, but
yeah, you can beat the sweat running the ball that much.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's going to be, we got to figure that out because that's going to be a long, hurtful season if he's got to run like that for the rest of this year.
I mean, on a positive note, we got two dudes on the edge that can get after the quarterback. Kennard,
oh my God,
had a heck of a day, and our defense played relatively clean besides 2 explosive plays for touchdowns, which is going to happen at times. You had a free runner run right down the middle of the field for 75 yards, and then a quarterback scramble on 3rd or 4th and long that went for a touchdown too. So all stuff that can be cleaned up, and I expect Shane Beamer and staff to have good, hard conversations with the players and the staff this week, and hopefully rebound. And on to Kentucky, I mean, SEC play is super important, especially now where, it's not SEC East, SEC West. It's a big,
giant
blob.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like you said, and you said it multiple times, just gotta clean some stuff up. I mean, it's the first game, first start for Sellers, and I mean, it's going to be tough, but. Yeah, I think, playing against Kentucky and, as you mentioned earlier, better Vanderbilt. I like that. That's funny as hell. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big test for us. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking, we got to play well. That's at the end of the day, we got to play well, especially on offense. I think, as you said, defense is pretty lights out, especially that front seven.
Yeah, they played well. The thing that I'm most excited about is for people to hear this quarterback roundtable that we have. So, I mean, like we said, there was probably a lot of editing done because the beers were flowing a little bit while we were going. But I think that's going to be the cool piece of it is you're going to get our honesty and you're just going to hear point blank how we felt on certain things and the experiences we had. And there's not much fabrication to it. So it's going to be good. And I think the fans are really going to like it.
Yeah, they're going to hear some stories that they're probably not accustomed to hearing, and from people they're not accustomed to hearing them from. So I'm excited to rewatch it as well because, as you said, the beers were flowing. So there were some stories that I don't necessarily recall.
Yeah, I mean, to be the fullback sitting with 5 of South Carolina's best quarterbacks, it was pretty cool to just sit back and, I mean, I just sat back and I shut up and let you guys go. It was cool.
Well, I'm pumped, man. I'm excited to see it. I know, Dakota and Gamecocks Plus did an awesome job, with what they've done so far, and we're truly blessed to have them, helping us out with everything, especially the editing.
Yep. I mean, we got a great team with Dakota and Gamecocks Plus, and then JB and Chief Sports Network. They've been big time too. So, shout out to them, and then all of our sponsors for supporting us.
Yep, absolutely. Well, y'all get ready to laugh your ass off at some of these stories, and it's going to be a fun one, and let's go beat Kentucky's ass.
Yep. All right, thank you guys.
All right, well, first let's have a little fucking cheers.
Cheers.
To the unique. Welcome back to another episode of
the 5 greatest quarterbacks and the only fullback to ever play here in South Carolina. No, but huge shout out to Halls and Garnet Trust for hosting this event. Got a bunch of donors here. We're out mingling and just having a good old time. Day before game 1. So really excited we all could get together and do a QB round table or rectangle table. And you guys let me join. So appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man.
Well, as we talked about, we got that side and we got the fun side over here. The dangerous side.
A little bit of segregation.
That's why Perry's in the middle.
I'm teetering. I can play both sides if you need me to.
This side doesn't have a record. Y'all might have a record.
Hey, the jailbirds.
Oh, I've been there, done that, unfortunately.
So let's settle the debate. Who got in the most trouble during their time in Carolina? See if
That's the consensus.
Yeah, I was only once too.
You didn't finish your career. They at least finished their career.
I'll take that. That's a badge of honor, in my opinion.
Heroes get remembered. Legends never die, brother.
I mean, if you didn't get arrested, it don't count. So you could have got in trouble and not arrested, it doesn't count.
For sure. And Connor, you learned from my mistakes.
I did. I was squeaky clean. I had a great example to learn from.
Hey, best thing ever happened to me was Garcia coming after me. Like, made me look like a saint. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I was like, I'm good.
Blake was a senior and he was a freshman. You're
like, I'd gotten that trouble, and then he came on. I was like, all right.
Well, there was the Smelly and the Beecher. They were in between us
they were,
for a little bit.
Not long though.
It's funny as
I'll say this, it's easy to talk about that stuff, the villain quarterback, but what that did for the team culture, and not just getting in trouble, but I'm just saying having a good time and making it fun for the players. We go through a grind all year long, and for someone, for the players to have someone, especially in the quarterback position, where you can relate to and go make your college experience something that's going to be memorable. I mean, there's like you think of I remember this in Cleveland. John DeFilippo had a team meeting my second year in Cleveland. He was like, Vikings would go off and they would go to war and they would do crazy stuff, but they'd come back and they would feast together and they would get drunk together. And you know why they did that? So they could get refueled to go do it again.
Yep.
And so if you spend that time grinding together, you got to find ways to make it fun and have fellowship so you could do it again so it doesn't get stagnant. So wins are important. You go to war on a football field. So
well, see, what helped us, and you guys probably missed it, is we lived together. The roost, we had to stay there. So that I think, in my opinion, it helped with team chemistry. It really did, because after practice, you're all going to the same place.
Yep.
So, in room 332 every night, there's a tunk game.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And room 432, they're doing something else. You know what I'm saying? But that enabled you as the quarterback, for sure, to go hang with everybody.
Connect, yeah.
When you split that up, now you almost had to go out of your way as the quarterback to lead off the field. Where when we all live together, it's easy because you're all right there. And that helped. That helped a lot with team chemistry, for sure.
It's a big thing. I remember when I got back here, when I was done playing, I was talking with Parker White, who was in his 5th year, and he always sat with a specialist and only hung out with a specialist. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you're like the senior leader. You've been around here the most. I was like, do you ever hang out with the DBs? Do you ever hang out with the receivers? Do you ever hang out with the offensive linemen? Do y'all party together? Do you hang together? Do you do stuff? And he's like, no, it's not my comfort zone. I'm like, you will learn so much about them. You will start to enjoy them more. The team's going to get tighter the more you do outside of the building. And, this is the catalyst that, we were in the East Quad room, 203, and, our room was video games, parties. It was, we just did everything.
I learned it from Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But we didn't have some good parties at the house.
They're like the most different group.
That was
of
a
your
big.
whole...
Honestly, I have a pretty unique perspective because that was a big issue with my time at South Carolina. I got there. You were a senior. I was a freshman, and we had that. It was a different unit. By the time I was telling you this today, my junior year, 2015 and 16, it was much like what Parker said. It was, QBs were with QBs, and I was used to hanging out with the most random dudes. I lived with 2 defensive linemen, right, at East Quad for 3 years, and I moved off campus. But when the turnover happened, it wasn't like that. You were, just eating with your position group, and it was just a different dynamic. So, you saw the result on the field, though.
I think there's something to when your quarterback takes a late shot and the offensive linemen are willing to scrap for him, are willing to knuckle up and throw some blows. When you see that ownership from the offensive line, it's just different, and you feel it. And I feel like it's across the board. When we were playing, we had some really good defenses. I want to say 9 of the 11 guys played in the NFL in my senior year. But those guys also, if you got hit late or Marcus got hit or Alshon got hit, by a backer, they're going to confront the backer about taking a cheap shot on our teammates. And, there wasn't, we competed like hell, but you'd also, there was a camaraderie, we were going to hang out afterwards. So I think that's a big piece of growing a team.
Were you part of Lou Holtz?
Yeah.
So what was the transition, and this is a 2-part question, Lou Holtz to Spurrier, And then Spurrier to Muschamp.
Yeah, great question.
What was the? I mean, I already
It was
know.
a lot more relaxed under Spurrier. Like under Holtz, it was, yes. I'm telling you.
He said relaxed, by the way.
Believe it or not. But like under Holtz, like you had to everybody lived together, lived on campus for at least the first 3 years, and then you can move off.
Unless you pull a fire extinguisher.
And practices were way tougher. And then Spurrier comes in, and it was more, we're going to get out there, we're going to do a bunch of reps, we're not going to coach a lot during the practice, and we're going to watch film. But Holtz was like, yeah, a lot of people don't realize how he would talk to players out there. So, yeah.
But Spurrier was a former player.
He was.
And he played at quarterback position, and that changes how you coach.
Everyone every other player really loved Spurrier other than, I don't say the quarterbacks didn't love him, but
Other than this table.
But I'll say he was way tougher on the quarterbacks than any other position. The other guys like,
But I guarantee he was tough on you at practice, but in the game it helped.
It helped.
I thought you were about to say he's not tough on you.
I was telling Steven about this today. You guys remember playing for him, especially your first year and then being a young guy under him. I remember when Turk told me, he said, hey, today he specifically said he's coming after the young guys. It was me and Connor Mitch at the time. And he said, I promise you, when you're in the individual drill, if you look at your receiver before you throw it, he is going to rain hell on you. So we would drop back. You had the stripes on the helmet, looking straight ahead, hitch, turn, throw. And he'd be like, you're staring at him. You're staring at him. Like, you would literally hitch and then throw it and then look at your receiver. He was just trying to break you.
Just critical, yeah.
Right. And he had guys that he broke.
Yeah.
And I told you a story today of we had quarterbacks skipping seam balls because they just broke. And his thing was he was going to test you to see if you were going to make it in the full 4 years with him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a Heisman Trophy winner, his standard was pretty freaking high. And for the fullback position, it was pretty nice because you guys took the brunt of it. And I just sat there and I sat in pass protection or cut somebody. And good job, DiMarco. Good job.
I don't know if you ever got your ass chewed out.
I did. I definitely did.
did he ever get on you?
Stayed in his good graces.
Did Spurrier get on me? No.
Shocker.
So I had the long hair and the beard. Connor was shaved head, shaved beard. He's like, I don't want to be involved in whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah, y'all ask why I was
disaster.
shaved, buzzed head, no beard. You know,
It worked out,
the
man.
opposite.
It worked out. It worked out. But, you know, it's crazy. I showed up with long ass hair and everybody's like, oh, you're the next Taneyhill. I'm like, who?
Yeah.
And then I saw the pictures. I'm like, that's a bad son of a bitch right there. Like, I'll take that. I'll take that big time. And then I'm in the locker room with this guy, and I'm like, I think I can survive in this.
I'm not that bad at all.
It's not that bad.
What
Steve,
is?
you got a different perspective than all of us. I mean, you played before us. You didn't experience.
So you're
Coach
calling me
Spurrier.
old. I'm good with that. You know,
I didn't tee it up like that, but yes. Like, explain the game. You were early 90s.
Yeah.
Explain the game back then. I mean, that's kind of foreign to us.
The game's the same. And what's funny is my first 2 years under Sparky, we were I formation tight end.
Yep. I like Sparky.
Then Brad Scott comes from Florida State, and we transition into 3 wides, 2 backs, shotgun every play. And we have a lot of success. We're kind of built for it. But our backfield was Brandon Bennett and Stanley Pritchett.
Yep.
So, I mean, oh, that cut my arm. But both those guys played like 9 years in the league, so obviously they were a good player. Then my senior year, John Reeves comes from Florida, so we put Florida's offense in on top of Florida State's. And I'm going to tell you, it was, I don't want to say easy, but it made the game easy. Because Spurrier had it down to where it wasn't complicated.
No, it was not.
I mean, to me, it's two safeties or one. and you call a play like we call bench was one of our plays. Well, if it's too high, the ball goes here. High or low, that's it.
Right.
End of story. If it's one, it goes on the outside. Cover three. I mean, and it made the game so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, I never
But
thought
I mean,
of it like that.
it's tough when you throw to a gummy bear.
Come on, man.
I never thought of
Blake,
it like
you want to
that.
expand on that story?
I don't recall.
And then you take, here's the thing. You
I told
take
you I was going to ask you.
NFL wideouts and put them in the system. Now it creates, well, every once in a while, throwing one up isn't a 50-50 ball. It's an 80-10, 80-20 ball because our guy's just better. Plus the scheme is built, and it's not a lot of words in the huddle. And when we put Florida
Oh, shit, they're after me.
ambulance.
Okay, you
false
three, watch
alarm.
out.
False
Hey,
alarm.
you saw us like peer out. But being in the shotgun, I was at the very beginning of that era, which we're still in. Now the read option, and even as a coach, I never did it, don't know it. Let's throw, and I need a good back because I really want to run the ball, but I want to make the illusion that we're gonna throw. But just that, I'm actually glad that I played in all those systems because I learned really 3 different complete offenses. Now, I didn't go any further. I mean, I went to Jacksonville, and you walk into that huddle, and it's 25 words.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Kyle
really?
system.
For what? Man, we called 550 bench. That's it. End of story. Let's play ball. Like, what are all these words for?
Yeah, I mean, just because you simplify things and make it like let the players go play fast.
Right.
And that's one thing I was going to say on this, but like everybody who coached under Coach Spurrier on the offensive side of the ball or even played under him ran a portion of his offense because he dumbed it down. He made it relatively simple. He let his players go play fast and put them in good positions to go succeed.
Yeah.
Like you played with Kyle, I played with Kyle. Kyle Shanahan's system, everything was like this or like it was run, can pass, or pass, can run, or pass, can pass. So there's 2 plays and it's based on rotation and there's this and that. And like you're sitting there and like, I'm in the backfield and I'm like, weak rotation. I'm like yelling at Matt Ryan, hey, can it. Then they fake the rotation. I'm like, never mind, don't can it. I'm like, never mind, I'm gonna shut up and let you go make all the money you made.
Yeah. I think now, even still to that point, sometimes coaches fall into the trap of making this game too hard. Yes, defenses have evolved in disguising certain things, but I still think even that proves the point where if you can make it your offense to where you rep the same core plays over and over again in a spring install, and you rep it during the summer, and you do the same install during camp, and you rep that during the season where you're not having to change your playbook a whole lot week to week based on when you're playing. Like wrinkles, yes, but because defenses are so good disguising us, I think that proves the point of let's run plays where we have answers, where we are confident because we've repped it over and over again. So no matter what the defense does, I know where to go with the football pre-snap based off leverage. I'm not trying to read everything pre-snap. I can go play free, almost
There's
play
only so many coverages they
instinctually.
can play.
Yeah.
There's a good play for
We're
every
just
cover.
looking at 2 guys.
I
We
want
would
to
call
talk
plays.
on
We'd have a cover 2 play on one
Yeah.
side, a cover 3 play on
Right.
the other.
Actually,
and then you got 2 high safeties. You go. That's
I want to touch on
What
that
are we talking
because
about? We threw the ball where the hell we wanted to. Come hell or high water.
Right.
I mean, that's just how we
right.
played.
But I mean, in theory, we had a plan.
I'm going to talk
We had
on
a
that
plan.
because
But there was no reading. There was like, it wasn't read this defender. Like with Spurrier, it was no read this guy, read that guy. It was like, look
Take
through.
your steps.
He
We've
was like,
done
look,
that.
look through this third and throw it to the guy that's open. He would say, throw it to the open guy.
But I don't believe he.
Right?
But now I didn't play for him, but just especially when you were a quarterback, he always had me come around. I was still coaching, but he invited me to come all around, and we taught ball, and I mean it was fun, and I was coaching, so it helped me.
Yeah.
And I think he did that because I played against him 4 times. I didn't play for him, but I played against him 4 times. So that got him to where at least enough respect to call, hey, Steve, what are you doing? Come down here, let's talk ball, which was big for me as a high school coach, you know, but it's just, we make it too hard, and it is, take a kid, and my son's the same way, 12 years old. He can sing any song that comes on the radio, right? So take the plays, name them something, and memorize them. Mike Leach had, 17 pass plays? He carried a tab of, a piece of paper? He was pretty damn successful.
Yeah, right. Well, I was gonna share that. So I've been calling plays at Cardinal Newman the last 2 years. I'm not doing it this year. The foundation of our offense from the pass game was menu 1 through 10. And I've had the same kid, first team all Skiza both years. We were efficient, and we ran what they ran. And I said, hey, if you get open middle on menu 1, I want you working corner, far spot, swing, and end it. Be done. Don't, and if it's not there, run.
Right.
And we averaged 47 a game for 2 years. And not because I'm a good play caller. That offense was built to have answers in it, right?
Play fast, yeah.
To play fast, one word, go play football. Because you can't do that with 18-year-old, 17-year-old kids.
Right. But they can memorize a play.
They can memorize trio right, menu 1.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Tricks right. I mean, 550 bench. How hard is that?
That was a big thing. I mean, playing in Buffalo with Josh Allen, his first 2 years statistically not great, an incredible talent. Third year, like Brian Daboll, who's now the head coach with the New York Giants, basically said, screw all the shifts, motions. I'm gonna basically create a menu. We're gonna have a one-word play, and it's shift, formation, motion. So you're gonna memorize Superman. You're gonna memorize domino. You're gonna memorize these words. And it's going to trigger a picture in your brain, and that's the way that Josh learned. So you cater the offense to the guy that touches the ball every play and is making all the plays. And, I mean, what we've seen with Josh, like Josh played an all-pro level 4 years in a row. Unfortunately, I was out by the time he started balling.
But in the NFL, it's so different because the quarterback gets better and better and better and better and better.
The more they're
and
in,
better.
yeah.
Well, what we see in college football is very few guys play 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, all our records here, and you might have a few, and I might have the most.
Criminal records.
But Jake Bentley would have every single record at this school.
Did he stay the whole time?
Every single record he would have at his school if he played his last year.
I agree.
And you can go look it up.
Right, yeah.
Jake Bentley would have every single record. Now,
Where the hell where's he at?
he's coaching. And,
Oh.
I mean, he comes from coaches, but there's a guy
Too
that
busy.
he was talented, but if he plays his senior year here, he breaks every single record
He'd been
that
a 4-year
anyone
starter.
had, except most interceptions, where Todd's going to have that for the rest of his life.
I wish Todd was here for this.
I tried to break it.
73?
I tried to break the
It's a
interception
lot.
drill. I did my damnedest.
You got to pick the wrong guy a lot.
Well, I mean, that kind of like transitions us into like new era of college football, NIL, transfer portal. Like Spencer Rattler transferred here, thank goodness. Had 2 incredible years here, but guys being in the same system, learning under the, like playing in the same conference, like there's not much of that anymore. Could you imagine, I mean, if we were to transfer during our time, we had to sit out of here.
I mean, can you imagine playing college football at 24 years old?
Yeah.
No.
Like, I was 19. I played 40 games in a row. I'm done at 22. Some of these guys, they're just in their first transfer
They're still
at
having
22.
COVID years.
You know what I mean? These guys, Cam Rising at Utah's playing his 7th year.
I was about to tell you that.
If he doesn't, he ought to 25.
That guy's been around forever.
Apart.
And the guy,
But it's just like the NFL. Quarterbacks get better and better and better. And Barry, C.J. Stroud, obviously last year, but it hadn't been done ever.
A rookie quarterback coming in
one
here.
time in the last, since what, Marino?
Yeah.
That tells you. But you put these kids in a system they can learn and simple, man, they can flourish because they're not thinking. They're just playing.
Well, in this day and age, would you have transferred?
I mean, there's a chance.
Would you have transferred?
I would have thought about it when the coach change happened.
No, but I
don't
want
have to ask you.
No, but I want to allude to that because a quarterback that's not here is Dylan Thompson, and that would be a great question for him, right? I mean,
well, hold on. Let's not forget about Cliff. You never throw a Mills on
never
empty
forget
stomach.
the unique. The unique is
Unique fraternity. Can you please tell that story? Just
oh man. So my freshman year, we're on the football field inside Williams-Brice Stadium. We're coming off from a practice, I think, and he's like, Steven looks at me. All the quarterbacks are kind of walking off into the tunnel to the locker room. He's like, "Welcome to the unique fraternity, the worst quarterbacks in South Carolina history."
And forever that will stick. We are the unique
That played for the HBC.
I told him that.
But now you would have transferred. So you think, well, especially once you got kind of pushed out.
I should have.
Right, but now the day and age, you would have got $500,000 to go somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. You'd have got paid to go somewhere.
It's crazy, the quarterback market now. It is.
Because they say that to get a Division I quarterback out of the portal is going to cost you about $2 million.
Right.
To get a
A
really
really
good
good one.
Yeah, $1 million to $2 million.
Like more money, more problems, right? I mean, it comes with it. And shit, I thought we were rich getting our $43 a weekend money. We'd go down to 5 Points and I'd spend $6 a night.
We had to go to class. We had to do all this to get $40 a weekend. Jamie, give us a break, dude.
But the thing is, what I'm harping on
Come on,
is
man.
if you win, this city takes care of you.
Yeah.
So if you win and you put out and it's a good product on the field and the fan base and like the excitement's around, this city's going to take care of you. I would walk into a couple bars in 5 Points, I'd give the bartender $10 and I would drink until the night ended.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I was there.
Now I own them bars.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
It's a full circle.
I understand how it works.
Yep.
I'd go out all night and come home with more money than I had when I went out somehow.
Funny how that works.
I mean?
Yeah.
I think Blake needs to buy Pavlov's.
It's never going to
It's still shut
They're
down.
turning into, I think it's turning into a liquor store now. I
It
think.
can never be a bar. I still think you buy it.
It's nostalgic, man.
Dude, that place was great.
That was the first story I ever heard.
What's that?
The Pavlov story. What do you mean?
What happened there?
You punched the shit out of somebody?
It was an accident.
Oh,
That was like a random Monday night too.
it was a Monday night.
Yeah. I'd just gotten benched, and I was like, "Hey,
Hey, if we're talking about trouble, we need the Lindsay brothers around. Where the hell are they?
Oh boy,
Headbutters.
That,
Watch
the
out,
Lindsay
boys.
brothers is straight up trouble.
That's a different podcast.
They
So
were
you
walking
guys
into the
went-
bar and it was like,
They
oh,
went
shoot.
this crew from you to the Lindsay. When I got there, we had like an orientation. And I remember, Coach Spurrier brought the freshman kids in and really the freshman quarterbacks, and it's basically like,
It's only
hey,
people he cared about.
this is what you don't do when you come here. It was you guys. It was the Lindsay.
it wasn't that bad."
It was. Hey, this
We
is
had
how
a
we're
good
gonna
time.
do. We're
We had
gonna
a
do
good
like
time,
14
man.
and 17.
But I mean, I wouldn't have made it with
The
you.
edge that the other ones
No,
had.
absolutely
was part
not.
of the development.
But it all carried. It all
If
rolled
there was
downhill.
any social media, it would have been.
These kids don't have no fun at college to me.
They can't. There's no way they can.
Because of this. I mean, it's just, you lose that whole, they don't even go on campus.
Well, I think that's why it's so important to have the locker room now, more so than ever. People talk about culture, but we talk about the unique fraternity, we talk about transfer portal, we talk about the what ifs if we played during that era. Our locker room would have been fractured. We wouldn't have had half the guys that made us who we are as people and as a collective unit before we ever stepped foot on a football field.
Well, I mean, nothing against Spencer Rattler, but last year spring break, he's in like Turks and Caicos. I own 4 businesses. I ain't never been there. And I'm thinking, and you play college football? Like, I wouldn't want it. Honestly, you give me $1 million at 19 or whatever, and I'm not in school. Like, I mean, there's how you hold.
Well,
I'm not going to be sad.
Respect
going to
for these
class?
kids for evolving to learn how to be a professional at a young age to be able to handle it. But I do think there's also a level of you got to grind through the muck and get it hard. Like go through a process
You
where it
gotta
kind
earn
of
it.
refines you. And I'm not saying these kids haven't because Spencer's
These schools and these coaches are making so much money to say the players shouldn't.
It's fair. I understand that.
I mean, we got a coach making $10-12 million a year, and
a coach leaves and you couldn't leave, and that was always messed up to me. You went there because that coach recruited you or those coaches, and then the head coach dips out and you're stuck. I didn't like that.
That's what happened with him.
No, I mean, that's why I came here. Being a walk-on kid, I knew that if I came here, I'd get an opportunity because of growing up in Florida. I watched how Spurrier handled quarterbacks, and I was like, if I come up here, play well, I'm going to get a shot eventually, right? Well, then, he resigns from his spot. Coach Elliott takes over. Coach Muschamp comes in, and it was like everything changed overnight. It was completely different. The way everything was handled, like we were all going to wear the same thing. Like coach, like everything changed. Being a fourth-year guy
took the personality out of you guys.
Yeah, and so it was different. It was just different from how everything was when I got there.
But I want to be honest, man. I thought like going to Myrtle Beach on spring break was like fun. Can you imagine going to Turks and Caicos?
We went to Panama City twice.
Right.
It was immaculate.
I've done that. I've gone there once. But these guys.
It was immaculate.
How about
hey,
Spencer
go
had
get your
3
bag.
cars last year.
Yeah.
3 cars?
3.
Well, there's college kids that are taking pay cuts to go play professional sports.
Yes,
5th
absolutely.
round and
That's
beyond.
wild.
That is baffling.
It's
to me
insane.
because there's college players that are taking pay cuts to go play professional sports.
Rattler could have came back here and made more money than he's going to make this year.
100%.
Yeah, how did the college market for players get so inflated where they truly, I'm all for the players, but how did it get to the point where there's so much leverage on that side where you're so desperate as a program? But
desire to win.
If you got it, you got it. Let's make it happen.
Well, what's a 5th or a 6th round contract? What are they making every year?
League minimum is like $800,000 now.
It is crazy, like what the NIL has evolved into, though. It's gone from, like, hey, you can use your name to do an ad for a car dealership to, like, hey, fans, donate a bunch of money. We're just going to slap $1 million check on it.
It went marketing to pay for play.
Yeah.
And but it's the beauty is that it's standard across the board, so it's not different any other place. But it is the nature of the beast.
But does it not come down to what school can raise the most money?
The rich always get richer.
So is it not? So it's not really a level playing field.
No, it's not
right?
close.
Not even close.
Ohio State's spending $13 million this year.
I think it's more, honestly, Steve. I think it's more. Really? I heard 20. I thought that's what ESPN said was 20.
But let's be honest, it's never been a level playing field.
That's true, too.
No.
Yeah.
But now it's just
You
legal.
think Clemson? Yeah, fuck you, Clemson. You think Clemson didn't pay their players?
Well,
Who the hell wants to go to Clemson other than Connor?
That was the original NIL, and the name is of the Lord. New Spring Church.
But the fact of the matter is that these guys have been getting paid for a long time under the table.
Hey, and Johnny Manziel brought that to light.
He did.
Right?
That was a great
that
show.
It was great. I mean, that kind of.
So y'all didn't get any money under the table? Damn, y'all missed out.
We got
I
occasional
tried
handshakes.
like hell.
I play golf for free.
Lake Murray.
You go around eat for free.
Yeah. It was the NIL before the NIL.
Which that was all against NCAA.
Right.
Yeah.
To get a free meal. I mean, she was
But
great.
damn, the
Yeah.
opportunity to take out, like I used to take my lineman every Sunday. Every Sunday I'd eat. Every Sunday.
Shit, I'd be lucky to have $20.
I'm from middle class. I'm middle. I grew up middle class.
Back then, that probably cost you like $30.
Oh, no. Oh,
It was
hey,
$3.99 back
We
then.
used to go to D's Wings. Every one of them big horses, they damn getting 50 apiece.
That was pre, unrealized gains and
But it's 50-cent wings.
tax bracket,
Damn, I'm from middle class.
Sleepy Joe's.
I needed that. Hey, Steve, you played good last night, brother.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're all trying to say that we all came to South Carolina to do things for the first time, and there was a level of pride and consistency that we kind of we rode for the brand. No one was bigger than the brand. There was no one bigger than the Block C. And there was an investment into that you paid the price as a young gun, as a freshman and sophomore. You found your way. You earned the respect of the veterans. You had a massive respect for the school that you played for. And I don't know that you could say that for everybody now, obviously. No. I think it's become more of an individual sport.
I agree.
Not for everybody.
You got a free agency every year.
That Block C means something to all of us, and we had the privilege to play in an era where we had no other choice but to be invested into that Block C.
And, I could probably speak more than anybody being I think you guys were all scholarship guys right out of high school, right? So I came here. I remember watching Blake. He was first as a kid.
And he was first.
I don't think I was born yet. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Perry.
That was you set that up. Hey, it's all good.
I'm sorry, man.
You're the only brother.
I was born in '93. So were you still?
I was playing. That was my second year.
Okay, so I was 8 months. It went Blake. I remember watching Blake. Obviously, remember watching Steven. Watching Connor and Steven do the Russian roulette, and I was like, hey man, this guy's gonna give quarterbacks a shot. And when Coach Spurrier called me. But not only Coach Spurrier, it was South Carolina, it was the state, it was the school, it was everything. It gave me, the non-recruited guy, the opportunity to come here and earn a spot to make a name for myself, right?
Well, I mean, we're all. Are you from here? We're all from out of state.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of wild.
Yeah,
I'm from Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia,
Florida,
Georgia.
Yeah, Florida.
I mean, that's
Spurrier's
wild.
recruiting pitch to all of us was come here and do something that's never been done. Like, I could have walked on at Florida and been a bench player at Florida, played at FAF, IU. You guys probably could have went somewhere bigger, but I was like, one, I want to play in the SEC.
And then you said you wanted a room
sign
with
me up for doing something that's never been freaking done.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I knew my roommate was going to be. I'm like, college is going to be fun, boys.
I came here to play.
Yep.
I had never, like growing up, I came here to play early.
Yeah.
Now, it made a big difference that 92, my freshman year, we were going into the SEC because I knew the SEC.
Yep.
But I knew we didn't have nothing against them guys. I knew I would beat them out. I mean, and if I didn't, then I'd have been wrong, but I bet on myself.
Yep.
Instead of going to Florida State and you're sitting 3 years no matter what, or, I came here. And I came here to play the game. Your degree, yeah, it's nice, but we came here to play ball.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, that's a very valid point. I mean, I remember getting recruited, and I was watching Blake. I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to play over this guy. And then I saw the ball come out of his hand. I was like,
he can swing it.
I might be playing the wrong position.
It was only 1 year, dude. It was only 1 year.
I mean, no.
But no, that's why I came to South Carolina. First school offered me a scholarship was LSU. But I came to South Carolina. I was kind of looking at the roster, and I was like, hey, I got a chance to play early. I mean, I didn't play early, but
Elite 11 guy.
Sophomore. I mean, I played 3 years, but that's the reason I came to school here.
I mean, these guys that just go to a school because it's the school, and then they end up transferring. Like, why pick that school? Like, I understand, but damn.
I ain't going to sit on the bench.
When I'm 18, I'd rather play. I don't care how much money you give me. I'd rather play the game. I came up playing the game.
I mean,
Well, this is a good question for
I would
Connor.
rather not play.
Why'd you end up coming here?
Coach Spurrier. I mean, truly, like I was raised in a coaching family. My dad was the coach, so.
My point is, like, I was playing somewhat decently. Why'd you decide to come here? You and Cliff, like, why'd you guys decide to try to take my
Coach
spot?
Spurrier for sure, but also like your style of play. You're a mobile quarterback. It was a similar skill set. I wanted to be in an offense where I could not change my whole style of play. Master respect of how you play the game. My freshman year, before I committed, I learned that Coach Sean Elliott was coming to South Carolina as the offensive line coach, so the whole zone read scheme that he was at App State. So, I mean, I did not know a whole lot about South Carolina. There's obviously not a whole lot of rich tradition around South Carolina, but, I knew the caliber of Coach Spurrier in the SEC and an opportunity to play and learn from someone. I mean, that all kind of played in my decision.
Like, to our point, like, you wanted to play early.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, everybody wants to play early.
I
You
wanted
didn't
to compete
redshirt.
for. Yeah.
Right?
I didn't redshirt, and you guys made me pay the price. 3 roommate was you, Zach, and Clark. And for 6 a.m. workouts, they would bang on every door possible on their way out. Going to the redshirt workout. Hope you sleep well, Pat, and like wake me up. I'm like, assholes.
I think I may have pooped my shorts two times a week during those black iron workouts.
Black iron was
Cody
tough.
Wells. Remember doing the leg press? I've never seen anything like it.
I mean, there was
I sat there and I was like,
2 guys in our recruiting class quit before it was Matt Williams and somebody else.
yeah.
Quit, full scholarship guys, before fall camp because of that leg press machine. On the leg press
Really?
machine, they said, I'm not cut out for this anymore. I'm done.
I mean, I remember in Atlanta for the Chick-fil-A Bowl, me and Cliff sorry, Masha, we brought a few girls back in the room, and Fitz had us running uphill.
Miss
And a treadmill.
Kim was walking right next to you guys on the treadmill.
And I told him, I looked at Fitz, I was like, I quit. I'm done playing. Connor, you got a long weekend ahead of you, brother.
Big day, Connor. Big day.
Big day.
Dude, I talked to Coach Fitz years after this, and I horse laughed at this story because he painted a picture of, as that was going on, I asked him about it. He's like, yeah, you should have seen the regular civilian who was just trying to get a workout that morning that was watching y'all basically die. This random dude trying to get a workout, probably flew in from somewhere into Atlanta, got a big day in a meeting, a board meeting, like looking over like, what the hell is going on?
Cliff's over there trying to pump me. I was like, come on, Steven, you can do it. I was like, Cliff, shut up. Absolutely shut up. This is your fault, man.
But I mean, I will say, like digging into that, like the tough love that we received from our coaches while we were playing, you can't do that with the transfer portal anymore.
No, that'd be
You
gone.
got to put your arm
Yes.
around him. You got to love him up. So like, it's just a weird time, and not that like I think a lot of people would say the current players now are soft. They're not, because they still go through the same training and stuff that we do. But mentally, they're used to like instant
Well, they're being
gratification.
catered to. Like,
Yes,
right.
for sure.
They come off the practice field and they running smoothies to them. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
They have a walk-in cooler now.
yeah.
We saw that on the first day.
We should have recorded from there. It was
I was like,
kinda
what is going
We
on
had
here?
a Gatorade machine in the locker room. We thought that was the best
Oh, yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
But I mean, all that to say, like, where the program is now and the facilities now, like, not to toot all of our horns, but like, you were the foundation, and then it grew and it grew and it grew, and now they're reaping the benefits.
Oh, ain't
But
no
like,
doubt.
the pride that we hold at this university, and as much as we love this place, I mean, we interviewed Coach Beamer last week. Like, he's going to turn this place around, and I'm extremely confident he's going to do that. That's why events like this, the Garnet Trust, and getting the NIL going, that's why this is like, it's a different ball game now.
But there's not going to be a table like this
I agree.
20 years from now. It's
I
not
concur.
going to happen.
Yep.
Because of the transfer portal.
So
and
much turnover.
Okay, Spencer was great. None against him. Where's his loyalty line?
You know,
I
don't know. I don't know if
there
that's
is-
really fair
right,
to
there's
say,
no
though.
loyalty anymore. Like, I take pride in I played here. But that's it. I played here. I didn't play at 7 different schools. I started 40 games in a row here. And I'm proud of that.
So you played, when did you graduate again?
Graduate, 2004.
When did you get done playing ball?
95.
Okay, so I've known you since I was playing. Do you personally know any of the quarterbacks that played with me or after me?
No, you were the last one.
I was the last one.
Yeah.
We've been running camps together for 8 years. I played with Connor. He lives just down the road. I had the opportunity to meet you. We have obviously a mutual friend. Like, we know each other because of the school that we played for. And the unfortunate reality is I was on the tail end. I was on the beginning. You could see the writing on the wall when I was there, when kids were coming there, and it was I missed the transfer portal, but it was only a few years after, but you could kind of see it with kids wanting to come and leave. And now I got guys that I played with that actually played a lot, that they don't have any affiliation with the school. and they should be here.
Coach Spurrier.
They should be here at the table. And I want to talk on that too, because I was a part of a really weird transition from, I came here really for, like we've all said, SEC, Spurrier, the opportunity to play. I wasn't a scholarship guy. Ended up playing. He then resigns. Coach Muschamp comes in. And I remember my mom telling me the difference when, because Jerry Spurrier would hold a parent's lunch or breakfast or whenever the game was, the parents would get together.
Yeah.
And when the new staff came in, we didn't do that. My mom was like, it just is different now.
Yeah.
And it was...
I mean, but when we interviewed Coach Spurrier and we asked him about his exit here, and like, I was impressed that he really wanted to tap into that, and he was open and honest about it, and he was like, I couldn't reach the players anymore. The players didn't want to listen to me. There was a divide.
I remember.
And he
I want to talk on that because I was his. I have the famous tab. I always use this in the business world. I'm like, hey, I was Coach Spurrier's last quarterback. Probably not a good thing considering he hung it up in the middle of the year. But he comes in, and we kind of had like a little quarterback huddle after we had just lost to LSU. We had the flood game. The game got moved down to LSU.
Supposed to be a home game.
Yeah.
And then playing LSU.
Yeah,
at LSU.
That's fun. It was awesome. And he said, I want you guys to study up pretty hard this week. Like, I think we're gonna score a bunch of points this week. And I remember calling my dad after and being like, hey, I think Coach Spurrier might be hanging it up after.
You felt that?
Oh, we felt it, but I didn't know it was that night. And I'm sitting in FCA. And my phone was blowing up, like nonstop buzzing, parents calling, friends calling, random people and they were like, Coach Spurrier just resigned from the program. And I was like spinning because that was why I came here, right? And he comes in the next day, and it was cool to see him get emotional, but it was tough because I was like, oh God, what is going on, And
that wasn't easy for him either.
No. Oh, it was awful.
Anyone who knows Coach, the amount of the competitive nature that he.
Yeah.
I mean, he sincerely felt that he lost the locker room.
Yeah.
He also felt like that was his last opportunity to give the guys on the coaching staff a chance.
Yeah.
To salvage whatever they could.
I'll tell you too. He wasn't wrong, man. We had some heads on that team.
Yeah.
And it showed on the field. When you're in close ball games and you continuously are losing, there's a culture problem, right? And we had some guys, we were talking about it earlier, like you lose a game, and I told him in 2015 we lost to Tennessee at night. We fumbled on like the 12-yard line. Yeah. And I remember crying. I had a towel over my head on the plane, crying my eyes out because I wasn't used to losing. High school, football, baseball, we won, we do it. And I was so heartbroken that we lost like what could have been an awesome win. And guys were bullshit in the back of the plane.
Yeah, just didn't care.
They didn't care, man. And it cared a lot to me, but a lot of the guys they didn't care. And Coach Spurrier felt it, and as you guys all know that played for him, he said, well, if I'm not getting it done, next guy up. And
well, I mean, Blake, you can expand on that, like
What?
the Vanderbilt one where we're sitting on the sideline taking a knee. Come on, man.
Not.
Steer clear.
I'm not going there. I had a bad attitude.
Some things stay in the locker room.
If I wasn't playing, I had a bad attitude. I was like,
it's hard, man.
when you get benched, it's like that's one of the toughest things in the world to deal with.
Yeah.
I got benched for this. I got benched for this.
Hey, man, I've got benched before too.
You just want to shut it down. You just want to be like, hey, because as a competitor, it's like I came here to play. If I'm not playing, then I might as well go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be a team.
It's
hard to be a team player.
Extremely hard.
When you're sitting there watching and you're like, hey, I'm waiting for somebody else to screw up so I can get back in there, basically.
But I'm going to be honest, and we all know that. Well, not you, but there's only one of us a game.
Right.
It's so much different. There's not, 6 linebackers playing a game or 8 D linemen playing a game. I mean, at this position, it's one guy.
Spur did that in 08.
Yeah, you guys
Me
switched
and
every
Smelly
play.
back and forth every
That's
single
tough,
play.
man.
You want to
I
talk
told him
about
after the game we lost 56-6. I walked up and I said, Coach, if you plan on doing that shit again, let me know because I'm out of here. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
I'll never do it again. He's
That's
like,
the worst.
There's a good story on that one. When Brandon Spikes hit you,
I don't know if I can tell that story.
I mean, I will. Don't worry. So he sacked you on a play. It was like first drive or second drive. And he jumps over and he's like, F you, white boy, F you.
He didn't say that.
And you went
It
to
was a
jump
little
up.
more aggressive.
Yes, but he made us, like in typical Steven regards, made a smart ass remark. He's like, well, Smelly's coming in next play, so you can knock the shit out of him. I'll be in the following play and I'll see you then.
Brandon Spikes is 6'4", like 250. I'm like, all right, man, I'll see you next play. I got to get the hell out of here.
A dirty player.
But that's what we signed up for. We signed up to play big boy ball. We're not playing ACC, Big 12, whatever the hell.
Yeah, I mean, we came out to play against the best, and in order to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah, and I think Coach Spurrier's perspective was he was going to try to put the best on the field, and maybe that didn't always make sense for us. I mean, it definitely didn't make sense for me at some point, but because we're all competitors that want to play.
What was it?
Coach
Spurrier always want to put the best players on the
always
field.
want to try to put the best on the field, whether that was
Well,
right or
he
wrong.
said he didn't know about that.
Right or wrong, whether we believed it, I think that's what Coach Spurrier was trying to do.
You're right.
Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah, I think
Not
that-
necessarily
It's
having.
not like he was trying to sabotage the game. I think that he was trying to,
I mean, I think the
what's
coaches are
best
there to
for-
win. Good
Right.
Lord. I mean,
what I'm trying to
They
say
only,
is,
I mean, they make money the better the
About
team.
winning ball games.
Connor, go ahead and expand on that.
no one likes to get pulled. I didn't like to get pulled. Like you and
I love doing it.
Yeah, you and I competed against each other, and we pushed each other. We made each other better for sure.
We talk about that.
Absolutely. Like
All the
competition
time.
brings out the best in everybody, so no one should ever shy away from that. But I also think, like, I got pulled for Dylan often. There were series where I got pulled, where I felt like I was playing really, really well, and Dylan was put in. I think we handled that because of the relationship we had in our quarterback room. Yeah. I think the attitude and the character of a roster in the locker room is a reflection of the attitude and the relationship in the quarterback room. Maybe that's quarterback bias, but I really do think that's a culture within itself that manifests everywhere else. And like, I credit you before me, and I credit Dylan after me, because I wasn't the glue guy. Like, I was a competitor, but y'all kind of pieced it together because you were relational. Like, you witnessed, Dylan.
I mean, beer usually does that.
No, I was a recipient of what
We pulled for each other. We competed against each other for sure.
You were around my senior year whenever it was.
I mean,
You remember Tennessee? Were you in the meeting room Tennessee game when Spurs like?
To this day, I tell,
Dude,
listen, I
never
don't want to
gave-
kiss
I
your
never
ass.
gave a shit.
To this day, that's the best throw I've ever seen.
No, but you remember the quarterback room, that game when Spurs like, all right, Smelly, you're starting. Tommy, you're second string. Blake, you're third string. And he's like, we wanted you to start all year this year, but things just don't work out. And I was just like, all right, whatever. We get halfway through that game, we're losing 21-0. Guess what he does? Hey, Blake, you've been here before. Let's go. So he throws me in there. We bring it back, tied up 21-21, end up losing by field goal in overtime.
He threw it was a cover 2 seam versus Tampa 2. You know what I'm talking about? Was that to Kenny?
whole shot or down the middle?
Down the middle. Tampa 2, the guys blanketed him. He couldn't hand the ball off any better. I was like, I looked at, I was like,
Cover 2 Bender.
yeah, I don't know if I can play this game. Like, that's the best throw I think in the planet.
Now, I will say this, and I saw it. Now, again, when Brad's offense, when Florida State's offense came, and then Spurrier, my junior and senior year, we attacked the middle of the field. Before that, everything was outside.
For sure.
Everyone was afraid to attack the middle. But it
if they're
made
playing
so
cover 2,
sense.
you have
The
to.
2 worst cover guys they got are standing on that half.
Yeah.
The 2 best
Yep.
cover guys they got are on that side. Let's not play against them. Let's play against these 2 guys who are run. One's a run support, and the other one's a center field.
Yeah.
It's so much easier said than done. I mean, it's so easy to sit there and be an armchair quarterback. That was a tough deal. Playing SEC, that was a tough deal.
Oh, because you're playing against the best of the best.
And
every week.
I mean, I was talking on the podcast with JB the other day, and now they have the headphones in. They're like, how would you fare in that deal? I was like, I still wouldn't hear anyone but Spurrier bitching and complaining. All right, let's put Connor in.
And it's like with him, it's like nothing is ever good enough. Like
Please.
nothing is ever good enough.
It's probably
put
better
Connor
that
in.
he's not coaching while the headset's on.
Oh, could you imagine? Because he's whistling over there on the sideline, and he's like,
That's the only person you could hear.
Yes.
100,000
It's funny
people.
how you can hear him in the middle of a play trying to change the play to something else.
I mean, I will say it is crazy though. Like he did double cadence a lot.
Yeah. DC.
And like if he knew what he was getting, holy
yeah.
smokes!
It was
like,
on. He was going to put you in a good play.
Yeah.
But when he's getting in with 8 seconds left, and you're like quarterback's running up and trying to get everything organized, it's hard as man. We had a bunch
He'd
of
be
delay
calling
games.
plays like he'd be starting to, and then he'd wave it off. No. It's like, come on. And then he's like,
Coach,
and then he'd always be like, you can't change the play. I was like, because I'm getting to the line of scrimmage with 10 seconds to go.
He hit you with the old Adrian Dupree, take your time, hurry up.
It's like, what do you want to do? You're like,
just hand off to Marcus.
Necessarily, you just stop looking
When
at
you
the
played
sideline.
in the league, did they have the connect on the headset to you?
What's that?
When you played in the NFL,
Yeah.
could they talk to you for
Yeah.
a little bit?
Yeah, it cuts off at 15.
Well, now they're doing that in college.
Right.
Yes. Can you imagine them just telling you,
what coverage?
I mean, just giving you that little extra bit of info?
Well, I mean, it's the perfect time because of the signs, stealing signs and all that. You just huddle up or.
But I mean, that kind of leads into like a benefit for South Carolina. Dow Loggins has done that a bunch.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
So
point.
like
Stole
he has,
signs?
he's been in the NFL. He's called plays, so he
Absolutely.
he
that's
knows
part
what
of
he's
the game.
doing when it
Yeah,
comes to how to
gotta win.
communicate with the quarterback. Where some college coaches might be like, "This is foreign to me." So
I think you become more efficient on the offense with that.
yeah,
I mean, I
Oh.
agree. It's a long.
Let me get 15 seconds in between plays.
Yeah, no doubt.
Telling my
See
QB,
what's going on.
like, hey, I'm calling the same play again.
Yep.
This is what they're doing.
Think about a 2-minute drill where you don't have to look over and signal. You got it right in your helmet, and you're operating the offensive field. You don't have to look at the sideline.
No,
You
when
go
y'all
back.
did 2 minute, you had to look over there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, when we did 2 minute, it was mine.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was mine.
that's
I
really
tried to do that for I think a drive, and I got the reins.
2 minutes.
All right, you're done. You're done.
Especially when I was a senior.
Right.
Like, I mean, I played a lot. I played enough. They're like, hey, the only thing we're going to tell you is when to call a timeout. But we'd have a meeting, 5 zillion meetings. But that Saturday morning meeting be like, all right, 2 minute drill. These are the situations we're calling timeout. But I mean, we get a 2 minute, we'll give you the first play, and then you go. I'm like, can we get in 2 minutes? Oh, hey.
I mean, shoot, Coach Spurrier went at some points. He wanted Junior to call the plays, and he let Junior call the plays for a certain extent. And him being Coach Spurrier, like that was shut off several times. Where he let
he's
Junior
not-
do it, and then he's like, "Take a seat, I got it." Son.
Right.
I used to feel bad during practices because he would ask GA and Junior to script our periods, and we'd get through 3 plays, and the script is out the window.
Yep.
Like, Jesus is
He
calling
knew-
from
he
the
knew what he
hip.
wanted.
Yeah. He's like, all right, enough of that.
He was
That's how he
controlling
called the
it.
game too.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, go to the concert tonight. You're gonna see the same thing. They're gonna have the playlist, and then these goes
Yep.
like, hey, we're switching this.
Yep.
I think that's the difference between a real offensive coordinator, because offense is it's an art. It's not a science. You have to get into the feel and the
Yeah,
flow
rhythm.
of the
I
game.
mean, you're getting a
You
rhythm.
got to be able to dance with it. You can go in with your 8 plays. And how many times have y'all seen it in the last couple of years in college where team comes out, first drive, bam, 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 score, and then after that they got no script, and it's
Yeah.
like dead. Watch the Florida State game this
Yeah.
past weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, they're lost
Yep.
off that script, but Spurrier off script was at his best.
I agree.
Agreed.
I agree.
Yeah, best
All
in-game
right.
play caller.
Best memory.
Best memory here. I mean, honestly, I grew up in Orlando, Florida. I grew up a huge Gator fan. My uncle played golf in Florida. So beating the Gators in the Swamp in 2010 to win the East, and then coming back here in Williams-Brice Stadium having like 45,000 people in the lower bowl as we got off the bus and got dropped off there. And Coach Spurrier had
We didn't
bunch-
celebrate that much.
several Sprite cans that day. And he
I don't
handed-
think we celebrated that
he
much.
handed me and Cliff Matthews and Mike. He's like, "Yeah, you guys got it. You guys got it." And I'm like, "What?" I mean, that was pretty damn cool.
Connor,
I think
taking over my job, probably.
No, man. Selfishly, probably my last game in Williams-Brice for several reasons. One, it was senior night, so that was special. 2, it was a rivalry game against Clemson. 3, every 3 years when I was a starter, they would bring us the captains in, and Coach Spurrier would say, "Hey, what are our goals for this year?" And every goal, top goal in those 3 years, we're not going to lose at home. So that capped off 3 consecutive years of not losing at home.
Was that the 5th win in a row that night?
That was the 5th against
I was on the
Clemson.
sidelines.
But it was almost like a relief. I remember.
That was the halfback pass.
Yep.
Ran it wild.
Yep.
That was right in front of me.
Pharaoh. Yep.
Man,
But I
that
remember
was-
it was a relief after that game of like, we didn't lose at home. It was.
You can't say by the way.
F-O-C-K. F-O-C-K.
F-O-C-K. Fluke. That's a Spurrierism, by the way,
F-O-C-K.
folks.
F-O-C-K.
All right, Perry, you're up.
Honestly, it was after Coach had resigned.
It wasn't the UCF game.
It was not the UCF game where Steven was obliterated. As I'm running onto the field, he's asking me what I'm doing after.
QB draw is pretty sweet, too.
The QB draw against A&M was awesome, but honestly, and not to be on the Coach Spurrier hype train here, we played Vanderbilt, Coach Elliott's first game. We won the game. We were all feeling good about ourselves, and I missed a call from Coach Spurrier. And he was like, "Yeah, man, you threw the ball well." And I had a good game statistically. We won the game. He said, "Yeah, you threw the ball well." I said, "Yeah, you missed Jarrell on that pop pass, but other than that, it was a pretty good game."
Didn't miss the thing.
I have it saved to this day. I could play it right now on the mic, and
Play it.
never
Play it.
All right, I'll never forget it. He was like, "Yeah, you missed Jarrell, but other than that, it was a pretty good game. Throwing the ball well. Good luck." It was a pretty cool moment.
All right, Blake, you're up. Other than the Pavlov's deal.
I don't know. I'd probably say beating Tennessee and Knoxville in 05. First time that South Carolina beating Tennessee there. We last second field goal. We beat them 16-15, I believe.
Who's the kicker?
Josh Brown.
He drilled it, right?
I mean, it literally.
He's an attorney here in town.
Is it? Okay.
I feel like you have better stories to tell.
That's all I got.
He's tight at the hip.
He's holding everything. I'm gonna try to pull it out of him.
We'll get him on again. He'll definitely.
Those LaGrange, Georgia boys, man.
Dope.
He's tight-lipped. All right, you're up. I don't know. Your favorite memory? Too many.
Give us a couple. I mean, you're the OG here.
Did he beat my dad's alma mater, damn Gator Bowl? He was pissed.
West Virginia?
Yeah.
CarQuest Bowl, that was big, but beating Clemson to get in that bowl was bigger. That at Clemson, that's the second time around for that shit. The most fun up there was talking shit to Brinson Buckner.
Now we're cooking.
He was so much fun. And here's the thing. You guys played against, unbelievable player. I played against Brian Dawkins 4 times.
Sheesh.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
He's a stud.
And we battled. But beating Clemson to go to the CarQuest Bowl was probably it, really. And I played good, and we blew them out.
The Bama Slammer, what about you, man?
Yeah, man.
What?
Your favorite moment?
My favorite moment of you was in Alabama. You trucked somebody at
Will
home.
Hill, Florida.
No, it was at
Several
home.
times.
On the sidelines. I'm talking about truck.
On the sideline.
It was on the visitor sideline.
On the goal line.
Yeah. Trucked them. And wherever I was, I popped up like, hell yeah.
Well, he was 260.
He ran somebody over
I
against
was
East Carolina.
260 pounds. I mean,
And I'd never forget that. The Alabama game for us as fans was unbelievable.
I don't know. My favorite memory is all of it.
Yeah.
It was a
heck of a
whirlwind
ride.
of ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs. But to be honest, man, the camaraderie that we had, dude.
Yeah.
That shit was.
Well, I think the resounding thing. I'm the fullback sitting at the quarterback roundtable is how competitive each of you were, and that's why the program was at its highs during these times and why it like ramped up to where it was. Like, we competed in everything, in Call of Duty and beer pong and swim races and volleyball. Like, but it was the same thing. I remember when you got here, the very first workout, Fitz called you out. Like, who do you want to race in this 5-10-5? And you called out Steven. And then it was like, I want to race against QB1. I want to race against the guy that I want to replace. And it was
Did you win?
I don't remember, bro.
But I mean, I'm sitting
sure
there,
you
I was
had
like,
to have win. I mean, plus 260.
but our competitive edge and who we wanted to be and what we wanted this program to be, like, the program was better when we all left it.
Yeah.
We left it better than we found it.
I think it was better when we talk shit. When you talk shit to each other.
Competition.
Yeah. We got after each other.
But that's the chemistry of the team. When the team's tight, and y'all are boys, that's when you're gonna have the best.
I mean, I told Connor this at Steel Hands the other day. I said, I fucking hated you. He's like, no, you didn't. We were friends. No, we're not. We're not friends. I didn't like Blake. I didn't like Chris Smelly. I didn't like Tommy Beach. I didn't like anybody. I was here for one purpose.
Yep.
That's to play ball and drink beer.
Well, we joked around with
That's
Shane
how it
last
is.
week.
Like,
Yeah.
it's me. Like, you got what I want, and I'm trying to take it from you.
And that's why
Like,
we had
how are
such
we
a
going to
good
be
conversation,
friends when I'm
man.
trying to
Like,
take what you got?
That's real.
You like starting? Okay, good. Watch this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your shit.
I mean,
Don't punch me.
every time the new recruiting class came in, like, you felt like you had, as a returner, you had a target on your back. They're coming to take your job, and you had to level up that off season. That's why the work we put in, winter workouts, spring ball, summer workouts.
We had Cliff show up in a
varsity jacket.
varsity homecoming jacket. Like,
I knew he was.
I was real nervous.
I knew he was
oh,
never
boy.
going to play here when that happened.
It's also really, really, really impressive that you did 10 years in the NFL, because as hard as it is in college, it's even harder at the other level. Yeah. Because you got guys coming in really taking jobs.
Yeah. By the way, Pat, I need a loan.
10 years
two.
in the NFL, bro.
Now, what do y'all think
Different.
of the guy we got now?
Special.
Great point.
I'm
Barry hit the nail on the head.
I think that he's the real deal.
Dude, he's the best. I remember my wife, she hated me for it, but I lobbied with her. I said, AC Flora is going to play South Florence in the lower state title at Memorial. We left her family Thanksgiving early because I wanted to see this kid play. If it was 4th and 2, quarterback power, 8-yard gain. 3rd and 10, put the ball in the money. He was the best quarterback high school player I've ever seen. And he's got every ability in the world now. My only question is, does he have the people around him?
Experience.
Does he have the talent around him to be successful?
It's hard to ask a redshirt freshman to be Superman, and you'd like to tell a quarterback that you don't need to be Superman, just go play within the
Don't do
offense.
too much.
Now that I think the reality is he might have to be Superman for some of it.
I don't know. I don't know one player on the roster other than him.
I mean, I will
Like,
say,
it's a bunch of new faces.
his very first practice, spring ball, his freshman year, his first 2 passes, he threw 2 picks. And, like, obviously I'm played in the NFL a long time. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at how does he react? He didn't blink. I'm like, got something here. Like, you got a young cat who just faced more adversity he's probably ever faced in his entire life.
He's going to make
On the
everybody
football
else
field.
around you better,
And the
especially when
person
you get
gains.
into a stadium where you have to go tackle that horse. You know,
Dude, he's a difference maker. Just mark my words, he is a difference maker. So
I'm excited to watch him play. I mean,
He's going to get back the kind of a little bit of what you guys
a lot of
did.
quarterback run game.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know because I wasn't, but were those runs called or y'all just did it on your own?
He'll have more direct quarterback runs. Mine were just scrambling
Right.
around. Yeah.
But I think these are going to be.
oh yeah.
I don't think we're going read action.
Well, I mean, Sean Elliott had a pretty similar system.
You
in
think we
Georgia
are?
State.
Yeah. They'll do quarterback power. They'll do quarterback
Counter.
follow.
counter bash, man. Send the back away, run
They'll do
counter
power
the other
read.
way.
They'll do some
DN
stuff.
sweep.
They'll see a lot of what we saw in the SEC championship game in 2010 with Cam.
With Cam. Yeah.
I got another question.
Keep peppering.
When did you realize, or when did you think, like, all right, I got my shit knocked in. I can play this sport, or maybe I shouldn't.
Dude, Cody Wells hit me, I think it was like my second play of inside as a freshman, and it was like a freaking bomb went off. We both like freaking on our backs. And I remember sitting up, and Robert Gillespie, the running back, picks me up by my shoulder pad, smacks me on the ass, and like, are you okay? And I'm just like blinking, and he's like, you're good, welcome to the SEC. And I'm like,
all right.
Just welcome to
the SEC party.
freshman year against Auburn at Jordan-Hare.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
when I got pulled out after throwing for like 480 yards.
You balled. I was really surprised late in the game that I got thrown in the fire. But they ran a TE. I got called by the end. No, I got called by Nick Fairley.
Oh, my God.
And I got called by the middle linebacker. So it was just a bam. And I just got up, little cross-eyed. It was still the hardest hit I ever had. It was just like, okay, this is college football.
I remember in the huddle pulling the grass out of your helmet on that play.
Well, Perry's got the scar.
I told you welcome.
Show it.
The scar was the soft one. We were playing Tennessee, and we were running a screen. I faked left. The guy was slipping out to the right, and I tried to jump over and throw it over the defensive end. It was a horrible idea. It was Derek Barnett. I think he's still playing the NFL. He picked me up, scooped me, my feet left the ground, pick up and dump, and hits me and cuts my neck, and I'm choking. He knocked the wind out of me, and I'm like trying to breathe. I'm doing the, and he pushes up off my chest, and 6 inches from my face, he looks at me and says, "How'd that feel, bitch?"
Not good.
And I was like, I could not say anything. I was, and they had to peel me off the ground and said, "Hey, man, welcome to Tennessee."
Can I tell your story or no? You're welcome to the SEC story? Throwing a slant to a gummy bear?
Well, I'll be the freshman. Freshman year. So Holtz is there. So we're running we got split back veer. So we're running the option. And it was, scout team running as first team defense. So we're running it. I cut it up. Marcus Lawrence freaking kills me. I'm peeling myself up off the ground, and Holtz is there. Hey, run it again. I'm like, Coach, run it again. Can we get in the hunt? Don't tell him we're running the same play. He's like, run it again. So we run the same thing, because our center he can't get to that middle backer. He can't get to him. So every time he just scrapes and boom. And I'm having to, because they widen out, so I'm having to cut it up, and I'm just getting smashed. So that was probably.
That was your welcome.
That was my welcome to the SEC. Thank you, Lou Holtz.
All right.
Me? I don't know.
Oh, you played ACC, so.
No, I played in the SEC. Let's see. While I was here, I bit a piece of my tongue off. I never wore a mouthpiece. I bit the whole piece off. I broke my nose twice and my butt bone once, so it was a lot.
Well, folks.
I can't name one. I couldn't move like y'all, so
I couldn't either. I was stuck.
I remember we played Florida my junior year, in Antonio Morrison, linebacker at Florida. We knew he was a bad dude, and we ran. GA thought I was a dual threat. Not sure why, but we ran a little quarterback draw, and I thought I was gonna come in and go around, and this dude wrapped around. He hit me so hard, face mask on his crown of his head on my face mask after the game. I remember cleaning up, and I had literally a black eye from the compact that he had hit on my face mask. And I remember my face hurting during the game, being like, wonder what's going on. It felt like I had gotten rocked.
Mild concussion?
It should never hurt.
Something.
I don't
hurt on Sunday.
It never hurt. In the game, it never hurt.
Sunday.
That one hurt.
I'll tell you this story. This is
My face hurt.
I'll tell you my road to the SEC.
The hardest hit was honestly, I was 260. I didn't feel much. Yeah.
You delivered it?
And according to every single Carolina fan, I was bombed the entire time. So
You were drunk for every game?
I should have been. They call it.
You wore the Bama game. No.
No. Who was the defensive coordinator? We just talked to him.
defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator. I can't think of his name.
Ellis?
Oh, Ellis Johnson.
Ellis Johnson.
Yeah. Knee knocker.
So that was my welcome to the SEC thing. We're doing suicides at the end of practice. My hands over the line. I'm doing this. Go. Just trying to pull people offside, being a dickhead. And Lonnie Osborne kept going off sides. And Fitz is like, bring it back. He goes, until you play in a goddamn SEC game, you shut your fucking mouth. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm in it. I guess I'm done.
Hey, I tell you this, my freshman year we played at Florida. It was a good game. We should have won. We played at Florida my junior year, and they're beating us 41-7. And Kevin Carter played a long time in the NFL.
Dog.
He's over there, number 57. He's standing up, defense end. And they're winning 41-7. And we've got a pass play on 3rd and 20. I look over there, and he's pointing. He has a half shirt on and abs showing. He's 6'7", 300 pounds. And he's pointing. Now, he's already beat me up, and he's just pointing at me. And I'm talking shit back to him.
No, you didn't talk to me.
And I said, I get to that line, I check that son of a bitch to a run and hand it off to the fullback. And I get to the sidelines, and that red phone is damn ringing like hell. And every GA is coming to me. They want to talk to you up top. I said, tell them to go But I'm not answering it.
I made a business decision.
I made a decision for my well-being.
Have you seen this dinosaur?
The game's over. Like, we're not winning. And we got Clemson next week. Like, we got a chance. But I'm not dropping back anymore. Like, not on 3rd and 20. How about 2nd and 5? I'm in. But this thing's over there, and I'm telling you, 6'6", 300, and an 8-pack and a half shirt, that's intimidating. I'm just here to tell you.
Well, that mentality is not going to land you in jail, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Myles Garrett was terrifying as well. He was the scariest dude.
Clifton Gather's just terrifying.
He was. I mean, that good genealogy there. He had like 5 brothers playing in the NFL.
Yeah. I coached against them.
But I mean, that's circle back, man. That's what we signed up for.
All of them. Every damn gathers that came to Carver's Bay, and they're all the same. And the first one played at Penn State way back in the late 80s. First gathers played at Penn State.
That's why we signed up for it, though.
Guys, this was awesome. Like being the fullback, hanging out with all you quarterbacks. Y'all's job was hard. My job, I just got to sit back and watch you guys work.
Yeah, but you had to block some of them big monsters.
Sometimes.
We took some shots, but you
We're
weren't
running.
about CTE at this table.
What? If you watch tape on Pat, he will cut block your grandmother. Just absolute shin guard. You wear shin guards if you play against him.
I had to change it up. My neck hurt. My face hurt too much. Your black eye, that was like every play.
Yeah,
10-year NFL vet, dude. That's crazy. Yeah.
How many concussions you think you had?
I had 6 documented, and I mean, if you think just seeing stars 3 times a game, so shoot, go 100.
You ever had any documented?
I had 3 documented.
3?
Yeah, 2 in college, 3 in the NFL.
You didn't have concussions back when I played.
I'm concussion proof.
I never had one.
No such thing. I think I might have seen
well, it's like
2
COVID.
when
You
I
only
played.
have it if you get tested for it.
They're like, Steven, you're just hungover. Oh, okay, man.
Now, but huge thanks to Garnet Trust for hosting this event. Halls, likewise, guys, this isn't the last time we're going to do this.
No.
Like, we created this to have former players on, tell stories, and we're off to a hot start, and this is going to be a good one.
I think this was This is awesome.
Y'all need my address because my hourly wage is high, brother. Your shirt's nice, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
But that ain't gonna do it.
Well,
So my flight ain't cheap.
Steve's going to be at CB18 till midnight tonight. So just don't give him free drinks. And that's your hourly
Don't
wage.
wake Olivia up. I won't be there. I gotta go.
Beers. I'm just gonna walk home.
Long live the unique. Thanks, boys.
Hey, thank y'all. This is awesome.